Good afternoon, everybody. Another late night recording session for me. So, going over the portfolio today, a couple changes were made, which luckily for me, I have my Vanguard notifications pinned to the top of my iMessage because what super cool dude um, has that happening? Couple changes were made. One, I bought Keurig Dr. Pepper, KDP. Don't remember if I mentioned that yesterday, but I may have. Duolingo was just added that I definitely did mention. And then Newegg was added. So Newegg has been very volatile recently, just kind of going insane. But I think it will most likely be popping back up at some point, and the price that it's at right now seems to be an okay one. Long term, not super confident, but short term, I think I could probably ride some volatility to get an easy gain. But anyway, let's just review a little bit of the actual portfolio, and that is all I'm doing today. So, looking at the portfolio, there really aren't too many changes. Basically, at the exact same place where you were yesterday. The only thing I really have to update on is I bought Newegg. Now, I don't know if I'm going to make videos like this where I just do a super short update and just say what I did very often, or if I want to do more like weekly or bi weekly updates where I do more content. But I feel like as viewers, you would want to know the moves that I'm doing as soon as possible. So, today I bought Newegg at 650 or 60.50 a share, and yeah. Other than that, no other changes were made. Let's see. Did I talk about averaging into Duolingo a little bit more? Possibly. I was down about 5% or so, 5.5% on Duolingo, and I bought 2 more shares. I don't remember if I mentioned that or not, but anyway, either way. That's where we're at. I could also go over some of the other tabs that I have here, which I didn't really do yet, but this is kind of how I track the month end balance of my portfolio every month, just so I could see how it is growing in value over time. Vanguard does this for me, but they don't show the percent changes, which I kind of like. And also, I just like to kind of have my predictions that I put in to see how much. So, for example, for the rest of this year, I'm hoping to grow by about $3,000 a month. 2,000 of that coming from deposits from working, and the other 1,000 coming from hopefully capital gains, which would put me at a pretty good position by the end of the year. My goal for the end of the year is to get to 50,000 in my portfolio. Next year, hopefully 100. We'll have to see if that's realistic or not, but those are the goals. So moving on, I definitely went over this in my video the other day where I talk about how I buy my stocks that I get into, but I don't remember if I did, to be honest. So goes by market cap. I don't strictly follow this by any means. It's more of just guidelines. But a very good example is I just bought, what was that? Man, I am completely losing. I just bought Newegg, which is a fairly low market cap company at about 1.2 billion, and I put about 600 into it. When it drops maybe significantly, I'll probably put another roughly 90% of that in. The way these work is that for anything under 800 million, I will double once it hits its threshold, and it goes up by 10, or I guess down by 10% as it goes up. So like for a 50 billion plus market cap company, I would only add 50%. Again, just basic guidelines. I don't strictly follow this, but just to kind of give myself an idea of what I would like to do ideally. Anyway, this is just showing my performance over time. So this is basically just the last month. So you could see a month ago, I was at 40% beating the market by 33.5%, and the S&P was at 6.5% for the year. Now I'm at I guess you could see I'm at 50.5%. S&P's at 10.33%, and the difference is just over 40% for the year. So pretty solid growth and expansion of the gains. Expenses are my personal expenses. We're not going to get into that. I do have a bond ladder. However, unfortunately, this is going to be completely irrelevant in a couple weeks because Vanguard is actually phasing out what I'm going to call retail bonds, or they're making it so that the minimum investment in treasury bonds is $10,000 instead of 1,000. So if you look at my overall portfolio, I have about 6,000 in bonds. That ranges from roughly 20 to 40% of my portfolio, depending on market conditions. But I won't be able to do that anymore. Obviously, I could put $10,000 into a bond, but that would kind of overweight me for what I'm really looking to do. I also just realized that this and this should be switched. Let me just do that quickly. Anyway, it's not really what I want to do. I don't want to have 25% of my portfolio in bonds by putting $10,000 in. And I really enjoyed doing the bond ladder, where although this is kind of insane to understand, which I totally get, but basically what I would do is I would have it so that bonds always mature once a month or so. And then I would get a little bit extra liquidity as well as some gains on top of it. And it would just be kind of nice. It would lock away some of my money so I wouldn't spend it all. And actually, in certain situations, such as trading CNC recently, it kind of saved me because um, while I don't think I'll be doing it again, I did buy into CNC way too quickly and used way too much of my available cash to get into it. Now, it did end up working out, but I over risked myself by an amount that I wasn't really comfortable with. Um, and one thing that saved me from putting even more of my money into it was having a lot of it locked into bonds. So, not being able to do that is going to be kind of annoying going forward, but I think I'll be fine. Um, it's just a note I have, but I think I'll be perfectly fine. I think I kind of mostly learned my lesson with buying into things too quickly with CNC. Um, you can see I still have $5,000 in the stock. It's not anything small by any means, but um, I had $17,000 in it. And that is at the time of when I bought into it with that much was literally 50% of my entire portfolio, which is not really something you want or something you should have as one company. Um, I think I'm going to at some point soon make a video just going over investing philosophies and explaining why I do the things I do, why I have bonds, ETFs, and even recently I split into long term and swing trades. But um, and I'll probably get into the actual strategy with averaging in and then selling out of stocks as well. But I'm not going to do that today because I need to go to bed and I want to shower. So that's all I got. Thanks for listening and watching, and see everybody next time.